What's up guys, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos, and let's get started. So today I am swatching the highly anticipated Zoya Summer 2021 collection, which is called Easy Neons. So these are their brand new neon nail polishes that supposedly don't require any white base coat. They're fully opaque on their own. They come with these special limited edition white caps, and they also come with the wide flat brush that I absolutely love from Zoya, but you usually have to buy it separately. So this is a collection I've been very excited about, so I'm excited to review it for you. If you haven't heard of Zoya before, they are a mainstream salon brand. They are 10 free, meaning they're free of 10 of the dangerous chemicals that are often found in nail polish. They are vegan and they're cruelty free. So we've got 6 brand new nail polishes to go over today. They are all bright neon creams that don't require a white base coat. So yeah, let's just jump right into it and roll footage. As always with my swatch review videos, I am going to be using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today, as per usual, I'm using the OAKLEY Bonder base coat, so I will link it in the description for you guys. So we'll start off with the shade OAKLEY, which as you can see is a super bright neon orange cream shade. This is such a vibrant color. It's like that traffic cone kind of orange that I absolutely love. So as you can see in the first coat, it was actually surprisingly decent coverage. It was definitely not a one coater, but I figured it would be opaque in the second, especially because Zoya was talking about how these are all really opaque colors that don't need a white base. And honestly, in the second coat, I thought before it dried, it actually looked like it was pretty full coverage. And to be honest, to the naked eye, I thought it was full coverage as well. Once it dried, it did have this sort of satin plasticky kind of finish, which I feel like is pretty common when it comes to neon polishes. But once I had that finish on camera, it looked like you could still see a tiny bit of my visible nail line. So I ended up putting on a third coat just to see if that would fix it, and I think it actually looked a lot better in that third coat, at least on camera. Like I said, to the naked eye, it did look fully opaque, but once I had on that third coat, I felt like in this close-up nail, you could see that it was full coverage. So I was kind of conflicted because I know nobody's going to be looking at my nails this closely, but at the same time, I do want to show you guys how many coats it takes to cover up that visible nail line. Next up, we have the shade ZELDA, which is a really fun, warm pink cream shade. Again, it's that super bright neon color, and again, you could see it was a little bit sheer in the first coat, but it seemed like it was very buildable coverage. I can always tell in the first coat, or I can usually tell, I guess, if a neon polish is going to be able to reach full opacity on its own. And usually when you're working with a polish that requires a white base color, you can tell in the first coat that it is just not going to be built up. But you can see this color, it seemed like it was really good in those two coats. It's a little bit pinker when you're applying it, and then once it dries down, it has a little bit more of that peachy salmony kind of tone to it. And again, I felt like, I don't know if my eyes were tricking me or what, but in real life it looked like it was fully opaque, and then for whatever reason, I felt like on camera, once it was fully dried, it did look like there was a little bit of visible nail line. So I ended up doing a third coat, and you can see as I'm applying it, you can see it almost has that cooler pink color on application while it's still wet, and then once it dries, it has a little bit more of that salmony kind of color. So here it is in 3 coats. I think it looks great in 3 coats, but I would love if these were 2 coaters. I can't decide if it's my eyes or what, but it's kind of conflicting. Next up, we have the shade JANIE, which is another neon pink cream shade, and this one leans a little bit more on the fuchsia side, so it's a very cool undertone to it. And again, all of these formulas were actually really consistent with each other. You could definitely see in the first coat that it's going to be buildable up into that full coverage, and then in the second coat it seemed like it was pretty much full coverage. And I will say, I think if you don't have much free edge to your nail, like if you don't have much of that white part, these are going to be 2 coat full coverage. If you have long nails and you have a lot of that free edge to cover, I think these are going to end up being 3 coaters for you, because I think the more coats that you have, the more you're going to be able to cover up any translucence that comes through from having a part of your nail that's not attached to the skin, if that makes any sense. So here it is in the third coat. Again, it always looks a little bit more vibrant on the third coat just because you have more color packed onto your nail, and I think that's pretty good. I just don't love doing 3 coaters for this price point is the only thing that I'm a little conflicted about. Next up we have the shade Banks, and I was extremely excited about this one because it is a super vibrant neon purple cream shade, and I know it's actually pretty dark, but I always classify these types of shades as neon because they're just like eye-searing intensity of color there, and I absolutely love that. So this one was really interesting because in the first coat it looked a lot more warm toned, and you really had to build it up in order to get that really cool royal purple color that it looked like in the bottle. And I will say this one for sure was not fully opaque in 2 coats. I can still see a lot of patchiness on the nail. There were some sections that were a little bit cooler that were more opaque, and then there were some sections that were really warm toned. And in the third coat I pretty much evened that out, but I have to say I was disappointed in this one because I felt like even that third coat didn't fully give me that even coverage. I still felt like it was a tiny bit patchy, where some sections of my nail looked like they were warm toned and some sections of my nail looked like they were cool toned. And just overall I was really hoping for more because purple is my favorite nail polish color, and this one turned out to not be so great for me. I also felt like it was a little bit more dull of a color once it was fully dry, so I don't know if it really gave me that neon intensity on the nail when it was dry. Next up we have the shade Echo, which is an extremely stunning bright cyan blue cream shade. Again, it has that beautiful neon intensity to it, and you can see this one was also pretty opaque in the first coat. If anything, I think these would actually be really good for nail art, just because even though a lot of them didn't give me that full coverage, I feel like they're opaque enough, and they're actually mostly, except for the purple, not patchy, so you can use them in nail art without feeling like you're gonna have patchiness in your nail art. Again, I felt like this color to the naked eye looked great in 2 coats. Honestly, I would wear it like this. I feel like you can see a little bit of the visible nail line on camera, so I ended up doing a third coat just to show you guys what that looked like, and I have to say this is definitely my favorite of the collection just in terms of that color. It's so beautiful. It makes me think of summer. It makes me want to go swimming in a pool, and I just think it's so vibrant and fun. I would definitely wear this one in 2 coats. Honestly, I would also wear the pinks in 2 coats. I think it was just the purple that I felt really needed that third coat. And finally we have the shade Link. Side note, I love that they have a ZELDA polish and a Link polish in this collection. Very cute. But this one is a neon lime green, and I could immediately tell in the first coat that this one was going to be another one that gave me some trouble. So as you can see, it's a little bit on the patchy side. It was super sheer, and in 2 coats it did not give me the full coverage that I was hoping for. It is really interesting that the polishes seem to be more opaque while they're wet, but then once they dry they sort of lose some of that opacity. So here this one is in 3 coats. Honestly, again, even in 3 coats I was a little disappointed by this one. I just felt like the coverage was a tiny bit patchy, and maybe that's just because I went over it too many times and I kind of created some brush strokes near the top there, but I didn't love it. I think the color is absolutely gorgeous. I just wish it was more opaque. So here are all of these shades together, so you can see they're all really beautiful when they're full coverage on the nail, but I think it was hit or miss in terms of formula. I do think that I could wear the pinks and the blue in 2 coats without a problem. Honestly, I could probably get away with doing 2 coats of the orange as well, but again, keep in mind I do have small nails, so because they're pretty short, I don't need to have as much nail polish on the free edge of my nail. But definitely the purple and the green were the most disappointing for me, which is such a shame. And I was really excited about these colors because they looked so gorgeous in the bottle. So I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. So we'll see what everybody has to say about these. So those are the polishes, and I have to say I'm not sure how I feel about them yet. I feel like I want to try them a little bit more. To me, to the naked eye, I would say the vast majority of them were opaque in 2 coats, and if they're all 2 coaters, then I will say I like them. I just want to see if I can wear them as a full manicure with 2 coats first. But in my swatches, looking at the super close-ups, I felt like they looked like they weren't fully opaque in the 2 coats, so that's why I ended up doing a third coat for all of them. So if they're 3 coaters, I feel like they're probably not worth the money. If they're 2 coaters, I would say they definitely are, so definitely requires a little bit of further examination from me. But I also feel like nobody's going to be scrutinizing my nails or looking at them as closely as my videos are, like an HD super close-up. But I don't want to have any patchiness on my nails when when I have a full manicure on, and especially when you are paying the Zoya price point, I'm not sure that it's worth it to deal with multiple 3-coater polishes. And also, you know, neon nail polishes that don't require a white base aren't necessarily anything new. I know a lot of mainstream brands don't really come out with those, but there are a lot of indie brands that I really enjoy that have very opaque neon polishes that don't require a white base. Ice Cream Nails, Cert Colors are a couple that come to mind, and there's definitely more than that as well. I've even had a lot of drugstore brands that are fully opaque in 2 coats for neon polishes, so I'm not really sure how I feel just yet. I think I'm definitely gonna have to play with them a little bit more and determine. I know some of them for sure are not opaque in 2 coats, and for those I would say, for me personally, not worth it. So these polishes come in the standard 15 milliliter bottles. Like I said, they also come with the wide flat brush, so you don't have to pay for that separately. On the Zoya website, they retail for $11 USD, but they're also available from HB Beauty Bar. You can get them for $9.95 USD there, and you can also use my discount code KELLI to get 22% off your order. So yeah, I will link all of that down in the description for you so you can check that out if you are interested. But I'm curious to hear from you guys. What do you think of this collection? Are you into it? Are you not that into it? Have you tried them? And if you have, do you feel that they are 2-coaters on you? 3-coaters? Do you think that they were noticeably patchy in the 2 coats in the swatch video? I just want to know your thoughts, so leave them in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and reviews, please give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Shout out to my Cosmic Admirals on Patreon, Amanda M, Braxton Scott, and Rainbow J. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Alright, today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Kristen, and Kristen wants to know, do you like fun fair rides? What's your favorite? So, fun fact, I easily get motion sickness, so I hate going on all rides. The only rides that I will absolutely go on are probably like bumper car rides or anything like lazy river type of things, or like, you know, where you're just very slowly moving around, even if it's like something very small, not a roller coaster. Like, well, first of all, the spinning teacups, awful. Ferris wheels, also can't do it. Anything where you're like going around in a circle and waving up and down like the little kid rides, I also can't do those. So really, I'm very, very limited. I love like theme parks and I love going to like fair kind of places, but I am all about the food and like the arcade games and those kind of things because I very easily get motion sickness, so I can't really do most of those rides. But if I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be bumper cars because it is fun to hit people with a bumper car. Alright, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!